The world of today seems to be a gigantic business plan. Behind the many industrial and digital activities, there is a business plan. People have thought well about how to market their product or service. If it are lawn mowers or the supply of internet access, beauty products or telephone services, one starts small but wants to become big, this is rich. There is nothing wrong about having a house for shelter, to have to eat and to dress. But it becomes easily too much, and of too much comes too little. Of an high economy comes a low economy, or put in other words, a crisis, with all the misery that it brings along. Trade has always existed, by barter or by money. Money started when agriculture came into being, and even more during the Industrial Revolution, and even much more during the Digital Revolution. Money became the lubricant of a capitalist world. Other models like socialism and communism failed or served only as a correction for capitalist societies. But let us make a big step. What is the business plan of the world? We come then to the plan of God and as such arrive in the religious field. Religion is about a good way of living, how we treat each other well, how we treat nature well, and so on. Would the big difference in income and fortune be God's will? That the climate is disrupted with storms and tsunamis? That there are so many illegal activities like arms trade and that there is so much war? Is man bad by nature? Is a question that arises in relation to this. No, but we have made wrong choices, have been too greedy. How to do it then is the next question, and that is a big question. There is an answer. I took distance from the problematics of the world and have looked at it like an astronaut who looks from space to the Earth. What seems to be complex appears to be simple, relative. And in this way I came to an idea that is very simple and very effective at the same time.
What is this idea? It consists of three parts: income-dependent payment worldwide, roads to happiness worldwide, and ecology. The three parts have to be introduced together, and income-dependent payment worldwide is the base of it. To start, the income-dependent payment worldwide. In this system, a person with a high income will pay relatively more for a random product than a person with a low income. So, relatively, as a person with a high income keeps some advantage. We see a combination of a measure of a socialistic kind, this is more equality, with a measure of a capitalist kind, this is incentive, to find balance. It would be enforced for all, individuals as well as companies, as well as the government, and also for countries and continents among each other. The system is introduced logically. For example, the shopkeeper pays for his purchases also to income. So, when he is more wealthy, he pays more for his goods to sell than when he is less wealthy. Money and property become relative in this way, and it would be more about the intrinsic value of things than the value in money. There comes into being a fluctuating movement. Income and property flow among people and companies, within states and among countries and continents. To this all, one pays enormously much more above a high income, for example, $8,000 per month. This is to take away the power of capital. All illegal activities done out of greed would suddenly be without purpose. We continue by votes to happiness worldwide. This is about assigning votes in politics. A higher realization of happiness gives right to more votes, for example, to a maximum of 3. Happiness is measurable by asking questions. one will have to ask oneself what happiness actually is and what really makes happy. The national gross happiness exists in Bhutan, and the two South American countries, Bolivia and Ecuador, have established the rights of Mother Earth in the Constitution. In the same Bhutan, there is a Ministry of Happiness. Political parties could all be called lifestyles and should be all green. Income and happiness are exponents of, respectively, a materialistically focused culture and a socially, spiritually focused culture. Balance between the two is important. And from research to happiness, appears that people who are less materialistic are happier. From this appears, on its turn, that sharing is a factor of importance. Third, the ecology. Ecology is promoted because by income-dependent payment, ecological products are within reach of all. These can be food products, but also ecologically constructed houses, environmentally friendly cars, supply of sustainable energy, etc. Summarizing is this to lead to an equal, green world where happiness is decisive.
What are, among others, the advantages of this system? I name them here. Holistic approach. More equality, which is a condition for peace. No negative effects of an economy that expands and declines. A green and ecological world with more possibilities for women and youth, with the idea to give women more votes. No cost for introduction of this system. More economic possibilities for poor countries. Arms will not be needed anymore, which will give economies a tremendous boost. Crime isn't rewarding anymore. No more hunger and poverty. More education and better health facilities. Money destined for lobbying is not needed anymore, which means economies. Family and friendship relationships become more important. Less products to fulfill created needs. Economic migration to other countries is not needed anymore.
For capacity, it works in the same way. Income and capacity-dependent payment work well together and give a more equal and balanced world. The world as we see it, for example the cities, is a reflection of the system, of the ideology that is followed. As such, we see big buildings from and for the rich and little buildings from and for the poor. The newly proposed system gives another world, buildings of about the same size, striking in form, and with a lot of greenery, a totally different world. Some examples of income-dependent payment from the Netherlands and other European countries. 1. In the Netherlands, an income-dependent care payment was proposed by the Social Democratic Party, PvdA. The extreme right-wing party, PVV, blocked it though. 2. Study debts in the Netherlands can be paid accordingly one's income. 3. Income-dependent traffic fines exist in Finland and Switzerland. These can be considerably high. 4. The mayor of Grenoble in France proposed an income-dependent system for electricity. And there is in Grenoble a grocery store that maintains 3 prices, one for low incomes, one for middle incomes, and one for high incomes. They make their profit by the high and middle incomes and have no profit by the low incomes. Transition plan. During a period of 5 years, the poor will start to pay less and the rich more. Every year 20%. After these 5 years, the system will be introduced worldwide and there will be only one currency, the one world. proposal. Considering the present-day situation of economic, political and ecological chaos, I dare to propose to end the old systems, being capitalism and communism, socialism, and to start with the system I suggest in this book. To end, I want to say with this all that what is shown here is not a fixed thing. Everyone is invited to participate in thinking on it, at which I want to put that solving the inequality is especially a matter of will. The solving of it is one of the biggest challenges of this time. War or peace are determined by it. Everyone wants his share and people fight for that, often in shrewd ways. We can simply stop with this, as there's enough for all when we trust each other and cooperate, and that is the most important, when there is will.